at about 9:04. And I'll call to order the meeting of the Home Inspection Licensing Board. So has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the previous
Yes.
meeting? Any comments or
Yes.
questions about the minutes? If
No.
not, do you have a motion to approve?
I approve.
I make a motion to
Okay.
approve.
Okay, so we have a couple guys, first and a second. Okay, do we have a vote?
Aye.
I
Aye,
approve.
everyone approved? Okay, so that motion carries. Okay. Any comments today from anybody present? Comments or concerns?
No.
Okay. Anyone from the investigation division here for us?
Yes,
Ms.
sir. Good
Hamill?
morning, Miss. Yes, sir. Good morning. This is Supervisor
morning.
Special Investigator Janita Hamill. I had sent 2 reports over to Rochelle. And the first one was the Home Inspector Board report for the 2-month time frame. May 1st, it should say 2024, not 2025. I'm making that verbal change. That was a typo on my part. It's
Okay.
supposed to be May 1st of 2024 to June 30th of 2024. During that time frame, the department received 3 new home inspector complaints that are under investigation, and it closed 2. The 2 files that were closed, one is a 2016 file that was assigned to me. Unfortunately, I thought it was closed and it was not. So I went back and closed it. It was a dispute of facts, civil matter. The gentleman was licensed.
Okay.
Okay, and in the other one, the investigator looked at the file. There was no further action warranted. It was a dispute of facts and there were no violations.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
for that time frame. Any questions, Mr. Chairman?
Just in that last one, I see it says anonymous in terms of, who made the complaint.
Mhm.
Is that common that it be anonymous, or is that even, is it,
Oh,
how is it verified if it's anonymous, I guess?
it makes our life difficult. We do receive written anonymous complaints mailed to the agency. In our online complaint portal, there is a box for people to check in the box that they want to be anonymous, and they put in the complaint. We follow our same in complaint investigation protocol where the person named as the respondent receives a copy of the complaint with a letter from us for us to look at the alleged violations. And they respond to the agency, and usually the responses come back. It's like, there's nobody for me to try to be amicable, do an amicable resolution with.
Right.
And I'm licensed and my interns are properly supervised and they're on, my payroll, and this is what we're doing. So it makes it very, very difficult. The other
Yeah.
thing that sometimes happens that makes life rather difficult for myself and my special investigator and my inspectors is that the anonymous person, there's always some background, something that caused it. And sometimes some of these anonymous people, because they don't know what's going on, they don't stand up and say, hey, it's me. They continually send in every month an anonymous complaint about the same person. And unfortunately, it goes to the complaint center, and we have no way to stop that,
Right.
So or they'll send an email to my occupational professional enforcement complaint mailbox. And now your email address is on there. Your name is on there. Excuse me, if you filed an anonymous complaint, you don't exist. If you are sending an email to us, you need to understand by state and federal Freedom of Information laws, this is subject to release because all communications, including emails received at the department, are releasable under FOI. So if you don't want to be let the complainant, the respondent know who you are, you can't be sending us emails. If you're looking for a status report, then we make them send us a notarized letter that says, hey, it's me. I sent in 2 or 3 anonymous complaints on the same person. I want to come forward and I want to get information. So it happens, and
Yeah,
it is what it is, but it does make it
Yeah.
difficult to be able to trace it down. For the next 2-month time frame, for July 1st of 2024 through August 31st of 2024, the department in that time frame closed 4 complaints. And where it says to contact legal in the first 2, those were reports that were sent to legal after my investigator wrote them. And I don't believe anybody from legal department is here, but in their resolution notes, the legal department said that the business, it's out of business and it's out of state, and they're no longer engaging in Connecticut, and that a warning was placed on the credential for this Mr. St. George in the event that he tries to renew and come back into operation in Connecticut, and then legal will then reopen the file and take whatever action is available to them.
okay.
Okay. Then
But
in
that was
the
basically the complaint. The complaint was that he didn't have a license?
yes,
That was-
and it
Okay.
appears that he was unlicensed, but he hasn't renewed, and
Right.
the license is lapsed and it is now inactivated. So, and it would appear that there was that legal placed a warning on that license,
Mm,
and that it can't be renewed or
Right.
activated without our licensing services department contacting them
Right.
upon that attempt.
Okay,
Then the next one is a consumer complaint. And the one after that is a consumer complaint. And in both cases, after the investigator investigated them, that it's a civil matter and it's a dispute of facts. Then there was an attempt in the last one by the complainant to sue the respondent in court, but ended up that the case was withdrawn from the court, and it's still a civil matter. And what I do, just so you know, when the consumers think that the home inspector is responsible for everything under the sun, and when the respondents respond to us and they're licensed and they say, no, 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 here's my contract, here's my report, this is what I did, I followed everything I'm supposed to do. When the investigator closes the file with a letter to the complainant that says they're licensed, here's their response, I also have him send a copy of the exclusions that are in for the home improvement, I'm sorry, for the home inspector, I apologize, home inspector licensing and regulations that
Right.
specifically list what is and what is not covered, and he and I are constantly responding to complainants. It's like, no, the home inspector is not responsible to take electrical faceplates off or open a panel or take the furnace apart and investigate it or look in the electrical panel or take lights down or take switches apart or move stuff that's
Right.
piled up in the basement that makes it that you can't see what's there. So it's not an issue. And I always make sure that that's sent out so that
Right.
it's like, no, you think it's a violation of statute, but it's not.
Right. Right. All right.
Okay?
So when you say still a civil matter when it was withdrawn, I mean, they could have settled, right? I mean, that could have been the end of it.
Right. There could have been a settlement between the parties it, at the court level, but we don't know that. And a lot of times the complainant isn't going to, let us know that, but the person they complained about will let us know that, hey, it was withdrawn. Does the respondent necessarily tell us what the settlement was?
Right.
No, not always.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's good. Sounds like you had a busy month. Any questions from anybody on the report?
I'll make a motion to accept the report.
Second.
Second. Okay. Any, approval?
Aye.
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 Okay, good. That carries. I don't know in the past if we've made motions for that, have we? I don't remember. We're good.
I don't think so, sir. I
Yeah,
think
Yeah, I don't
I
remember that.
present it. I don't think you have to vote on it.
Right.
It's just I send it to you every 2 months. Unfortunately, I was out in June and July. So the report wasn't completed, so that's why I gave you 2 now. But I don't think any of the boards vote on them. I give you the rundown and I answer your questions that you have about what we're doing and what we're trying to do for the different occupations and professions in the state and how we're getting from point A to point B.
Right. All right, that sounds good. All right, I appreciate the information. We can move on. Anyone on the meeting from legal? Is any? Guess not.
No.
Okay. We can move on to old business now. The agenda that I got, there's nothing on old business. But we want to review the license for Pavlos. I see Pavlos Karakatsanis. How did I do? Karakatsanis?
Good morning, fellas.
So we want to go back and revisit that matter. So under old business. So we did receive reports that you went out and collected. Everyone on the board received copies, had a chance to review.
Yes. Yep. Statements from
Um,
from his clients.
Okay. So we can discuss that. That really wasn't what I was looking for, but I mean, our minutes clearly state that we were looking for reports. I was looking for inspection reports, not a form that said that you were at the property. So any comments on that? I was looking for inspection reports that you signed, detailing your findings at the property and what you presented, to the clients at the time. I guess the question is, I mean, it's only within the past couple of years or so, but none of the people you revisited had their inspection report? Is that the case, or?
I did not ask, and that's almost virtually impossible because out of 100 mean, I signed probably half a dozen, if anything, because I worked side by side with Joe. That was his last year before he retired. So it's not like he just left me out. We were there. It was me and him. You know, I mean, he would do the outside, I would do the inside, vice versa. So he signed all the reports.
Did you,
All right,
did you-
that leads to a question
many-
right there. If you did the
Yeah.
outside, he did the inside. Did you do any of the inside?
Yes, I did
Well,
most of the
the-
insides. He would
The
start on the
requirement
outside.
of training is that you do the inspection. Period. And you're doing the whole inspection, not a piece of it. So in
No,
your
as in, like-
training, did you do a piece of the inspections?
No, I
Like,
would do
mean,
the
it would
whole.
cover like, let's say 6 or 7 major categories. Electrical, plumbing, heating, cooling, structure, interior, exterior. So
Correct.
did you do some of those and he did some of them, or how did that go?
Like we would get out of the car, take a picture, we'll jump on the roof and go downstairs, you know, on the floor, walk around. He would be on the iPad and I'll start looking at stuff, or vice versa. You know, like the grating, the windows, if there's rot, stick a probe in there.
Okay. So you guys you did the inspection together. But can you say you did 100% of every given inspection that was in your log? You did
mean,
the
I was
entire
there.
inspection.
I did the entire inspection, yes. Sometimes I was writing them, sometimes I wasn't, but I was doing the inspection.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, my opinion, I was looking for reports. Any other comments, guys, of what was presented? Any thoughts?
Well, I think the guidelines state that the first 10, you have to be supervised. For the next 90, you're supposed to do them on your own and write the report. And
Well, you can
your
do 'em, that's-
signature should be
Doesn't,
on that
Yeah.
report.
right.
And apparently, it sounds like he did most of the writing of the reports and his name was on them. And you just followed along with him and interjected whenever. Is that kind of a assumption of what went on?
No.
Seems so. I don't know. Okay.
I did the report writing, don't get me wrong, and he would look at it, check it. But did I do 100 inspections? Yes, I did 100 inspections. Did I do them from top to bottom? Absolutely. Did I sign off on them? A half a dozen towards the end. Like I said, Joe was retiring. He didn't want to mess up his system. He was just in and out. It was like, Joe was very professional. He was like clockwork.
Okay.
I mean, if there's something I
Mark,
couldn't
any
write,
comments, any questions?
he would step in and be like, no, that's not how you write that. But most of them were just canned comments. Yeah, I mean, you're just scrolling through and just boom, 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 add-ons. There wasn't really too much to write because he had that software for 12 years. So he had all canned comments in there. So very rarely did I have to actually write anything out. It was just like what is it, Spectora now? Once everything's in there, you're just pressing boom, 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 boom.
Oh, okay. Mark, any questions? Any comments?
No, I'm in agreement, with what was presented. I think it doesn't support that the reports were written
All right.
by
Bruce?
him.
I think I'm in the same school of thought.
All right. So, what we're being asked here is to, grant a hardship sort of on a major component of our training. And, it's my opinion that I don't think we've met the standard of a hardship. You need a log of the reports, and if we had gotten your hands on the reports, you could have recreated a log. It's an unfortunate situation given all the things that you trying to do, but in my opinion,
Joe
you gotta
passed away.
find a supervisor, Mr. Karakatsanis, and do the 100 inspections and present the log, or get your hands on the log that you submitted to the department.
I tried, and Joe passed away. Joe was
Oh, he
suffering,
did? I'm
he
sorry to hear.
passed away. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do anything with him anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just, it's such a big piece of our training. I mean, it's all,
Even the
I mean,
letter
anybody
from
can take
Joe,
a course and pass a course, but I mean, to do the inspections, you're not only doing the physical inspections, but you're being trained on how to present findings and, you know, it's a huge component. And I can't see setting a precedent on this.
I even wrote down real estate agents too. You guys,
Mhm.
someone can't call them up. You know, they were there while I was doing the inspections. I was on the roof, in the attic. I was
Yeah.
physically present from top to bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
But they don't have any, so they must have a written report. You sent the real estate agent copies of the report when they were done, didn't you?
Correct.
So, I
Yeah,
mean,
that happened
Yeah, there's no way
95% of the
here.
time.
We need a supervisor to sign off on it, or he needs to get the log from his ex-wife, but even that, we don't have the report. So I just think it's too incomplete at this point that we can't approve anything, and that we need much more information. I think it's going to be too difficult for him with this circumstance. So I think you're right, Larry, that I think the fastest way for him to get licensed is to hook up with somebody and just go through the internship. If he's that qualified and he knows how to do it, it shouldn't be that tough to go this next step.
Yeah,
Can I ask you a question? If I want to go to PSI and take the national home exam, how do I do that? Can I just sign up with PSI through the state and just take that?
well, I'm not sure on that procedure, but I'm not sure why you're asking that question, because I think wasn't the course already part of your application process that the state had?
No,
I'd
don't
have
you
to
have to
look
go to the
back, but I
state?
thought you submitted, I thought you submitted a course that you had completed and passed.
I did. How did the state allow me to take the course through PSI if they didn't get my internship log in the first place? That's
You
my
took the
argument.
National Home Inspector exam?
Correct.
So,
Okay.
so how would you
So
take
that
that if you had
You
completed an
don't have
internship?
to have your internship.
No,
You
you
can-
don't, well,
my-
let's
I've
back
had
up
guys
a second here.
pass it ahead of time. You could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah,
you
you
do? Just
apply
call
for
up
your
the state?
intern program, you apply for your permit, and you have already taken a course, you submit that with your application, you found a supervisor, and now you're going to take the time and do 100 inspections. They don't necessarily, you know, have to, I mean, a lot of guys, I think, and Bruce, you may know if you're a supervisor or anybody supervises, I think a lot of guys take the course and turn that in with their application. That's that piece. And if you've
Right.
already done that, you don't need to do it again.
You want. You could take
You
the
don't need to
test,
do it again.
right? But you could take the state test whenever you want, but you still need the internship with the 100 inspection.
Well, okay, yeah. All right, I'm sorry, I may be confused here a little bit what you're asking about. This, to take the state test, I think you can take it when you're ready to make application for your license. You take the test,
you
you
can take it
pass
before
it,
then,
you
Bruce.
hand in your
Larry.
log. But taking the test and the
You can take
log
that
are two
test as
different
soon as you
components.
finish your class.
The test does not get you a license.
Yes, that wasn't my question, because don't you have to go through the state and they have to register you to take the test?
So
I
we
believe
would
you've
make,
taken the
sorry.
state test.
Can I dive in on this? It's
Yes,
Maggie.
please.
Thanks. So yeah, we refer applicants to sit for their exam for PSI. We don't have to be involved with the national exam. So he took the national exam. So we were removed from that piece. We just get the results of it with the application. So that, that would check that box as one of the requirements for the license. So that piece is okay. It's just the inspections for him.
So if I wanted to take this,
Complete.
if I wanted to take the state test, how do I go about doing that?
You don't need the state test if you've taken the national exam.
I get that, but Maggie said they removed themselves because it was the national exam, not the state exam. What's the difference in what's the protocol? Is it a different protocol?
Yeah, so for, if someone's gonna be referred and take it through the state, instead of doing the national one, we need the complete application, which includes logs first.
Correct. And I took my state exam and I failed it 2 years ago. So that means I already sent it in. And then I just said, if I got to take it over, I might as well just take my national home exam. So that's why I took the national home exam.
So maybe that it doesn't have to be in that, but that would have been before we were doing any of this. What we see now that we took over, the licensing portion from a different division, we usually everything's intact when we get it and we refer people to PSI for their exams.
Can we find out who referred me? Because that's the person that has my log inspection.
We don't have any logs of yours on file at all. And maybe it could have been done piecemeal prior. Your application, you were never approved for a license. You never met all of the portions.
I get it, but the person that referred me to PSI, that's the person I send the log inspection to. So if we find that person, who's that person? Can I get their name? That's who I
No
sent
one
my
who
log.
works here. Okay, no, we don't have it on file.
Did they quit? Did you fire them? How does the state of Connecticut not have an employee?
I have your full application history with us. And again, so people can take it. Apparently, maybe they used to allow it, that's fine. And until everyone had all the portions met, then we would issue a license.
They gave me a ticket because I gave them the log inspection. If we can find out who gave me that ticket, then we can find out they have the log inspection. They should have a record of it.
Was it Mr. Champagne, I think? You were saying that it's okay to take it at any point?
Yeah, I think like
That's
Tim
how it's
said,
always operated?
well, as soon as you pass your pre-qualification, I think you can take the national exam.
So what was happening previously was probably that we were following those same standards. If you had parts of it, and then we would sit on your application until we had everything completed. We're doing it a little differently now.
But as I said,
In the past, it
Again,
didn't matter what.
My
you did in
question
the
is,
log.
can I get the name of the person? There should be some kind of record of that.
We're still
Is the
utilizing the
70
same system despite someone retiring.
You mean to tell me the state of Connecticut Consumer Protections, you guys can't backtrack and find out?
We're not supposed to be your record keeper.
That doesn't make sense, Maggie. I mean, I'm not gonna go spend $10,000-$15,000 another 6 months of my life because someone doesn't want to backtrack and find the person. The person that gave me the ticket for PSI, that's the person that has my log inspection.
But again, the board members are in agreement that you're able to do it at different points in time. So nothing here is saying that years ago when you submitted it, that we had your inspection.
I'm just asking for the name. That is all I'm asking for. And then I'll take it from there. I'll call the person up. I'll find him whether he's retired or not, and they should have a log.
None
I
of
do
their-
not have.
Nobody should be taking home information. So none of the information would be available from him or any of his computers or anything. All the state documentation is at the state. It's not lost. It's either in your record or it's not in your record. It's not in the record.
Correct, but if the person's still an active employee, they should have a record on their computer, should
They're
they
not
not?
active. We have no active employees. We have nothing in your record. There's nothing to research. That's not the route. If you want to get your log, you said you had an ex-wife who has it on her computer.
She does not have it, she said. I cannot get it from her. I
Well-
can't get it.
There's no other way to go about it. Either you get the log, somehow you get it, not through the state doesn't have it. And either that, did you pay this other guy $15,000-$12,000?
I did not pay Joseph anything, no. It was
Okay, so
strictly
you never
insurance.
paid for an internship.
Correct.
Okay, so most guys will pay this money and get an internship.
You're absolutely right, yes.
So how are you not able to do that?
Able to do what?
You're saying that you don't want to pay for the internship, you just want a license.
I already did my
No,
internship.
I
There's
think
the
what, I
log
think
is
what
missing.
Pavlos is saying, I think what Pavlos is saying is that this supervisor of yours was a friend. He offered
Correct.
his supervision free of charge.
Free of charge.
And that's
He
what
was
you,
retired.
and that's what you guys did. Was that correct?
Yes, sir.
That's correct. Okay. When you made your application for your permit, you had taken a pre-licensing course, 40 hours or something, correct?
Yes.
All right. And that was part of your application process that showed that that piece of our training was completed. Now, a lot of times when guys make application, they've taken a course, they've taken the test, everything like that is fresh in their mind, and they take the state test. That's how Bob Kusmich explained it to me. They would take the state test and they would pass it. Everything is fresh. So that's how they would do it. And that's great. Then they went and did their intern inspections. And then once that was complete, then they submitted their log. So those weren't necessarily done at the same time or anything like that. But is that what you did?
No.
Doesn't sound like it. You did not
No.
take the state test after you took your pre-licensing course.
Yeah, he said he did taste it. Took it and failed it.
I
Oh,
took
you took it and failed it. Okay.
I took a HIT course, passed that, went to the state, got my intern permit, started doing my internship with Joe, finished my 100 inspections. I put it on hold for a little bit. Then I took the state test. I failed it by a few questions, and then I had to put it on hold because at the time I was going through a divorce and my lawyer said I cannot show a third
Okay.
income because I already had 2 businesses. So I put it on hold for about 1.5 years. And now last year I took the course, sent that into the state, sent in my application, sent in the check, they cashed it, and then they sent me back a letter saying, "Where's your log?" I'm like, I sent the log 2.5 years, almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
And I can't even get a name of the person that gave me the ticket to take the
All right,
test
well,
for PSI.
that part of it, I believe, is outside the scope of our board. But
Pavlos, can I make a recommendation, maybe, you know, to try and help you locate what you're looking for? I don't know what system Joe used to write his reports. He said Spectora.
No.
If it's not Spectora,
No.
what was it?
Now I got, he had a PalmTech, but the old PalmTech, the original was a 3.0, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. My suggestion was that a lot of these systems now are cloud-based, and there's a digital file of the report that is transferred between, you know, your device and the computer, and that's stored on a computer. But whoever the company was that, you know, develops that software, they may have records or ways of getting access to records through Joe's, you know, account with them. Or even on his computer, those files should be stored in a folder on his systems, folders in the computer. So there's records on the computer, even if it was a folder that had the finished reports in it, there's still a file of the record of the inspection that's somewhere on that computer. If you can talk to his family and see about getting those computers, you could probably find those reports that were
He
done
doesn't have
between.
the computer.
Mark,
I-
I think wasting our time because he says he didn't sign off on 100. He said he
Right.
maybe signed off on 12. We have
Right.
no documentation. I just think there's nothing we can do at this point. If he came up with 100 inspections that he did and were signed off by a supervisor, then we could come out and it would be a different story. But if, we're just guessing at this point, I don't
Yeah.
think we're helping him. I think that the fastest way for him to do it would be go get an internship, and that I don't see any other way at this point.
right,
Yeah.
right. Well,
It's
our
unfortunate.
job here is to make a recommendation to the department. And I think that recommendation should be that you renew your intern permit with the department, because I imagine it's expired.
Correct.
And that you find a supervisor to provide that component of the training. And at that point, you'll have to retake the exam the state exam, and then get licensed. And in the interim, I mean, if you can come up with, well, no, I think Bruce is right. I mean, your explanation of the reports is that I'm not convinced that you did the full inspection. You know, it sounds like the supervisor did portions of the inspection and you did portions of the inspection. That's just how I understand it. So, you know, let's, if board members are in agreement with that, let's just form a motion that you,
I make a
a
motion that
recommendation.
I make a motion, he gets a supervisor and does 100 inspections and turns in a lock.
Second.
All right, do we have
I
a
agree.
second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any negative? Any opposed?
Do I count?
No, you oppose, okay. All right, it's an unfortunate situation, but I think, you know, we have to keep our training intact, and that's a big ask. And so I
right.
believe that, that's gotta be
Pavel,
our
good luck
position.
to you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's
I
gotta be our
appreciate
position.
it, guys.
Good
Take
luck.
care.
All right,
you,
let's
bye.
move on. Do we have any new business? I don't think we have any new business. Okay. Any correspondence? Any comments or concern by anyone on the meeting? Okay. All right, I guess maybe we can adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mark. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Nope. Okay. All right, guys. I think that's it for this quarterly meeting.
All right, thanks a lot.
Joel,
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
stay well.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.